Something hilarious happened yesterday on the Twitter. We have Zenith here, level 23, she, her, from English. And she is telling people how to apologize. Shaped like a university slideshow presentation, you have the anatomy of an apology, understanding your mistake, acknowledging your mistakes, empathizing with the victim, planning to do better, so on and so forth. No one is perfect, but we can try. To which the rabbit responds, don't apologize. Pippa is the rock that the VTuber community needs right now. She then goes on and details that public apologies are stupid, only apologize to one-on-one individuals involved, if there are any. I love the emphasis on if there are any, because on Twitter, most of the time there are no victims, but there are a lot of people offended. Apologies don't make you magically a good person and they won't clear your name. You're only stoking the flames. If you actually did something wrong, then try to do better. To which the magical people on Twitter, they pitched together, they put money and gave it to Himawari to buy gas. And Himawari used the gas that they bought to gaslight Pippa. Interesting. Unfortunately, I have this thing called bottles. Oh, I see. So now she's pooping Pippa full of gas. Hopefully she has money left to buy a lighter because gas is very expensive right now. But I also seen Yuri, also from Face Connect. My God, these girls, they're keeping the VTube community on their shoulders right now, pumping them with truth. Apologies never work and are never enough. Apologize to Twitter Bob. So I will tell you what I think shaped Pippa into the girl she is. I will tell you the event which probably scarred her and removed these awful things called morals, leaving her as a cynical, practical, and healthy person. It's probably due to the event that happened a couple of days ago that I covered. You see a VTuber, while freestyle rapping, said something akin to a gamer word. It wasn't even a gamer word itself. Now, people attacked her, the mob attacked her on Twitter. The mob gaslit the VTuber into thinking that she did something wrong when she didn't. And then she apologized for it. Once the apology dropped, the attacks intensified tenfold. And on top of that, people couldn't defend her. Because I would have gone there and said, look, she didn't even say the word. What are you crazy people on about? But now you can't even do that because those people go like, well, she apologized. Right? Imagine a witch hunt where you accuse someone of being a witch. And I would go there and I would say, look, she didn't cast any spells. What are you on about? And the people go, but she confessed. Now we need to burn her at the stake. She confessed. So how would I be able to defend her, right? Now, I have saved the philosophy, which is boring, for the end of the video. So let me explain to you what is actually happening here from a philosophical point of view. It's completely normal for people to make mistakes. But different cultures handle people making mistakes differently. And once you understand this, you will never be able to be gaslit ever again. So what are the cultures that we're going to be talking about today? There is a shame culture and a guilt culture. Guilt culture is akin to the United States. It's probably how you grew up. The United States is the powerhouse that it is today because it focused on personal improvement. In other words, the reason you have living in your mother's basement as an insult in the United States is because it shows that the individual hasn't fully developed. It's not independent. The focus of the way things work in the US is to empower a person to be as independent as possible, to master their own destiny and not to be reliant on other people. Now, if everyone is brought up to be self-reliant and independent, what happens when a person makes a mistake? Well, probably you experienced this in your childhood when you broke Billy's toy. What did your mom do to you? Your mom probably explained to you why that is a bad thing. She probably said, well, how would you like it if Billy broke your toy? She helped you realize why you did something bad. You internalized that. You felt guilty about doing that bad thing. And then you went and apologized. So what was the purpose of the apology? The purpose of the apology was to promise that you're not going to do it again and that you feel bad for doing it. And you're reaching out to Billy in order for him to forgive you. So this is very important to the mindset of a guilt-based culture. In other words, you feel that you did something bad, you apologize in order to get a second chance, and if the person forgives you, then you can carry on with your life. Assuming you don't do it again. If you do it again, then no one is going to trust you, right? Like, then you lose respect from other people if it happens again when you apologize, promising it won't happen. All right, so this is the guilt-based culture. But there are other cultures in the world. One of them is a shame-based culture. So in shame-based culture, the focus of society is not to empower the individual, but it is to empower the clan, the group, the collective. And in order to do so, when a person makes a mistake, it makes the clan look bad. It makes the group look bad. So in order for them to fix it, they need to ostracize the individual away from the group. You get to see this in Asian countries, like in Japan, for example. When a company does something bad, like let's say the Fukushima reactor explodes, what the company does is that they need to put forward a scapegoat. They need to put forward an individual that they consider to be the most responsible for the accident. The individual goes in front of the public, makes an apology, and everyone shames them. Like, then the attacks on that individual intensifies, everyone is shaming them, and the individual loses its honor. It loses its reputation. He's not going to find an easy time getting good jobs in the future. He's not going to have an easy time ascending the ladders in the future in a corporate environment. But why is this happening? It's to save the face of the company. Now the company is out of the public eye, right? The group, the collective, the clan is out of the public eye, and instead you have the sacrificial lamb. So to go back to what's happening on social media and on Twitter specifically, when the mob is coming after you, they're using shame culture. They're not using guilt culture. They're not expecting you to apologize to show that you understand what you did wrong and you are then feeling sorry and it will never happen again. No, they are interested in you apologizing so that they can start the shaming process. They want you to never be able to find a good job in the future. They want you to never be able to ascend in the future. They want people to distance themselves from you because you didn't upset a person, right? They have this group mindset. You upset a concept, right? Like you insulted gay people, but like they can't name the actual gay person insulted. So they're not operating like a guilt-based culture where they're trying to help the person improve. They're trying to help the person realize that they did something bad and now they should apologize and try not to do it again and they improved as a person. No, what they are doing is to help the group maintain honor. So now the group vouches that it will do better by pushing out this unwanted individual, and now the honor is restored. Now it guarantees that there is a process, and it keeps other people in line through fear. You're afraid to say something or do something that would harm the prestige of the VTubing community. Now, what's interesting is that most people, as I mentioned, they operate on the guilt concept. So they think when people ask them for an apology, that if they apologize, those people will be happy and they will be left alone. When in reality, those people are trying to get a confession out of you. They're trying, like the Inquisition, to get you to admit that you did it wrong, that you have harmed the reputation of the VTubing community. And when you confessed, then they move on with the prosecution. And then they are going to attack you even more. Because now they have justification. You admitted, you confessed that you're a witch, and they're going to start to shame you until you leave the community. So that's pretty much the different type of cultures that are mixing. And Americans are very vulnerable about it, because as I mentioned before, they think they're in a guilt culture when they're dealing with the shame culture. So do not apologize under any circumstance, especially not on Twitter. The mob oftentimes gaslights you into thinking you're doing something wrong. I have seen Japanese artists which draw the booba, and immediately you have these people shaming them. Oh my God, you're causing sexism, misogyny. Do you not understand how hard women suffer in America? And your drawings amplify that suffering, is what they say. So then the Japanese artist apologizes, and the attacks just intensify tenfold until the Japanese artist has to shut down his Twitter account. So let me know what you guys think, and listen to Pipkin Pippa. She speaks wisdom. Do not apologize.